All praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to Allah Hakim, doing and pushing his word in sincerity and truth worldwide, and a sincere shalom to the elect. Constantly considering, this lesson is going into, the prophecies that we see happening worldwide, day to day. We see and we consider. Okay, we understand, but like I said, they see, but they don't take it to heart. Okay, they don't consider. Okay, and we constantly, day in and day out, brothers are putting up videos. We're reading articles. We're constantly studying. Okay, we're constantly having in our mind, meditating upon these things, considering. But 2/3 they don't consider these things. They don't lay it to heart. Okay? They just walk on by. And punishment awaits them when they walk on by. Okay? So let's go into this real quick. What I want to get here. Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do all, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then shalt thou make thy way prosperous, and then shalt thou have good success. Now going back into this, it tells you to meditate therein day in and meditate therein day and night. Okay, so you got to meditate upon these things. These things got to be constantly upon our mind. Okay, consistent. Okay, and we got to remember, hey, we made a vow unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So if you don't want to let your candle burn, the Lord will come and out there real quick. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 5. So we constantly got to be on the alert. We constantly got to be warning. You know what I mean? Active. All right? But going back into this is how you're active, by meditating upon these things. Okay? Reading. And it says what? That thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. Going into Judges right here, chapter 5 and 11. 5 and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh. Okay, and this is what we're doing. Okay, rehearsing these righteous acts unto Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Constantly observing, constantly meditating upon these things. Give him no rest till he make the kingdom and establish it. Okay, roughly phrasing. So we consider these things, all right? But 2/3 of our people, they don't consider. They don't lay it to heart. They're bewitched by the wicked, okay? Let's go into this real quick, Psalms chapter 4 and 10. Psalms chapter 10 and 4. The wicked, through the pride of his heart, through the pride of his conscience, Salakia, will not seek after Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is not in all his thoughts. Okay? And we know that's going into the wicked, but 2/3 of our people are persuaded by these people. They're in love with the wicked. All right? Jeremiah chapter 2 and 33. They're trimming that love to seek something that's not going to benefit them, which is the ways of these wicked. Okay? So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is not in their thoughts, man. They're going after Jebus the Christ. Okay? They're going after Muhammad. They're going after everything out there under the sun but Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And they're seeing, exactly what we're saying, right? They're seeing these things that we're telling them. The city shutting down, these viruses, so on and so forth. We're telling them about the downfall of America, right? And the new kingdom coming. They're seeing it, but it's like somebody playing music. You're trying to sleep, and it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and they blasting music, the worst type of music, right? So that's what, this message is onto them. They don't want to hear it. They want the party to keep going, but, hey, bad news, good news, we don't care. It's good news for us. It's the end of this kingdom, man. So Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not in all their thought, because guess what? They've drunken that philosophy from Esau, and they're in the mindset of Pharaoh. Exodus chapter 5 and 2. Who's this Yahweh that I must obey his voice? Jeremiah chapter 7 tells you that, you're going to speak these words onto them, but they're not going to receive correction from their power, from their God. Okay? Let me see. Let me go to that real quick. Jeremiah chapter 7 verse 27. Therefore, thou shalt speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken to thee. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer thee. But thou shalt say unto them, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of their Yahweh, their power, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished and is cut off from their mouth, because they're coming in the same mindset and mindstead of Pharaoh. In the same way, who's this Yahweh that I must obey? I know this Yahweh. I know Muhammad. I know Jebus the Christ told me I could eat anything, pork, and so on and so forth. But who is this? I don't know this person. Who you're telling me is my power? No, I don't know. So they don't consider. But yet, they see what we're saying. Okay? They see when we're telling them about the MOTB. Who do you think these people are learning from? Okay? They see, but they don't see. Okay? Yep. They see, but they don't see. They hear and they don't consider, man. Isaiah chapter 44 verse 18. They have not known nor understood, for he have shut their eyes that they see cannot, Salakia, that they cannot see, and their hearts that they cannot understand, and none considereth in his heart, neither is there knowledge nor understanding to say, I have burned part of it in the fire, yea, also I have baked bread upon the coals thereof, I have roasted flesh and eaten it, and shall I make the residue thereof an abomination, and I fall down to the stalk of the tree? Okay? So they have not known nor understood. They can't understand. They're serving these idols. You know what I mean? Psalms chapter, 96 tells you that all the gods of these nations is nothing but idols, man. And here it is, you have our people bowing down to these things. Even wood and stone, these churches and whatnot that they're going into. But yet, they see what we're saying, and they don't consider. They don't lay it to heart. Like the scriptures say, they have not known, nor understood. Okay? The Lord has shut their eyes. This is a curse that David prayed unto the Lord for the 2/3. These wicked-ass 2/3. That they have no consideration in their heart, man. Okay? That they don't see. They do see, but they don't see. Like Apostle Elder Gabar always says, you have to have the vision, man. You have to have the vision. If you don't have the vision, then, that's it. It may come for a little bit, but then you're going to be gone. Like wind, vapor, a cloud, smoke. You're going to be there for a moment, but then you're going to be gone. All right? So they don't consider these things. They don't lay it to heart. All right? And like I said, yes, it's a curse that's upon them, man. Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear indeed, but understand not, and see indeed, but perceive not. And this is exactly what's happening, man. You hearing us telling you about America's downfall, Babylon's downfall, man. The rising of these other nations getting powerful. Joel chapter 3. Okay? Let the weak say they're strong. The MOTB. You know, you're hearing these things, right? Oh, the revealing of the true image. Right? You're hearing and seeing these things. But guess what? What does it say? Hear indeed, but understand not. And see indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart, going into the mind of this people, fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and be converted, and be healed. Okay? So this is a curse that's set on 2/3 of our people, man. The Wadi Yahweh Shimei, because hey, this is precious. The Wadi Yahweh Shimei Shai for us receiving this, man. And Bubble Kasha, Bubble Kasha, Bubble Kasha, keep us in there onto the end, man. You know? I mean, you could want to be the elect. If you the elect, you the elect. Okay? But what would the elect be doing? Exactly what the apostle elders are teaching us through the Spirit to do, man. Follow Yahweh Shimei Shai. Be attentive. Attend to your vow that you made unto Yahweh Shimei Shai. Rehearse these righteous acts. Preach the 100% truth, man. You know, these are the qualities, these are the things that the elect would have considering in their mind, moving forth in this world, man. Okay? But 2/3, you know, hey, you could throw the false prophets in there too. Because they out there for money. They're out there for the bag. You understand? They're not there to usher in Yahweh Shimei Shai, to herald in Yahweh Shimei Shai. Yahweh Shai, Salakia. They're not there, you know, we're here heralding in our king, man. Waiting for his return. Hasting that new kingdom, man. But what they doing? Hasting money. You understand? Isaiah chapter 57 and verse 1. The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart. Yeah. They're looking at us and saying, you guys are clowns and so on and so forth from Ray, right? But they don't consider, let's go on, and merciful men are taken away. None consider that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. So you have some brothers that may perish before, right? And even it tells you in Wisdom of Solomon, that they're going from us is to be utterly destroyed, but they don't know the end of them is peace. Okay, as it says here, he shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his his uprightness. Salakia. So guess what? When those chariots return, when Yahweh Shimei Shai return, those that died in Hamashiach, Salakia, they're going to be risen first, as it says. They're going to return with Yahweh Shai. Salakia, let me get that real quick. I want to misquote it. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse, where are you going? And verse, 15 or 14. For if we believe that Yahweh Shai died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahweh Shai will Yahweh bring with him. Okay? So those who did the work and died doing the work, okay, they're going to be risen. For this we say unto you by the word of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shimei Shai, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of Yahweh Shai shall not prevent them which are asleep. For Yahweh Shai himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord, Yahushai, in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Okay? Wherefore come from one another with these words. So they don't consider these things. Okay? When we tell you about the 144, and like I said right there, the ones who perished, the Lord took away before these, desolate, wicked, evil times. Okay? They don't consider that, hey, the Lord was looking out for those men there. Okay? Yeah, you may call us a quack, crazy, nutso, whatever you may say. Okay? But those individuals who died doing this work, okay, who are asleep, let me say it like that, okay, they're going to rise up, return with Yahushai, okay? Their works do follow them, man. If they're part of that elect, hey, that's their lot. They're going to come back with Yahushai. And those who remain, who are of the 144, will be caught up in the air with them. Their body shall be changed within the twinkling of an eye. You're going to get those new bodies, okay? Those uncorruptible bodies, all right? Right now, we in these corruptible, decrepitated bodies, okay? But once again, they don't lay it to heart. They don't consider, all right? And for that, the destruction lieth at hand, man. You didn't want to take the instruction. You didn't want to listen. Like the scriptures say here, for whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son, in whom he delighteth. Okay? Despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. All right? Salakia, roughly phrasing, right? So they didn't want to take these instructions. They didn't want to consider that everlasting life is at the end with Yahushai. Once you follow these instructions, once you do what you're supposed to do, meditate upon these things, praise the Lord every day, man. Okay? With your actions and deeds. Love is not just a word like they say. It's an action, man. It's just a four-letter word. No, it's action. Okay? You got to have action. All right? And we're meditating upon these things and what? Rehearsing these righteous acts onto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Now let's get back into this. Proverbs chapter 19 and verse, 28? Which one do I want there? 20. Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end. Okay? This is what, this is what Slakia. This is what the 144 would be considered in their heart. To hear the counsel, receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end. Okay? Because the scriptures tell you that. NLT, Ecclesiastes, chapter, 7 and 12, that wisdom and money could get you almost anything, but only wisdom can save your life. All right? And the wisdom is here, follow Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay? Make your body a living sacrifice unto. Consider these things. Okay? Make your body a living sacrifice unto him. Consider these things, man. Once you consider these things, then, hey, you in the ball game, so to say. Okay? Like I said, we can't make ourselves the elect, but following these instructions, be elect-minded, as they would say. Strive for the truth unto death. Okay? In your day-to-day life, you didn't make a video or whatever it may be, or you made 20 videos, you went to camp, you did all you can do, right? But consider this, when the camera's off, you got to keep it real with yourself, man. Okay? You can't be fronting. So it's not just, the camera's on, let me display My wisdom. Your wisdom always got to be shining. You always got to be like that candle lit, walking through this dark world. Okay? Doesn't matter how much videos you make a day or a week or a month. Because there's some out there that do that just for shine. Okay? All our righteousness is counted as filthy rags. Like the apostles say, make sure you try to do a video a day, man. If you miss a day, do 2-3 videos, okay? Because this, it's order, right? You miss 1 day, you miss 2 days, you miss 3 days. Now you dragging behind, you know what I mean? You got to constantly consider these things, man. And like the brother put up, you got to pray, man. You stop praying, the Spirit of the Lord may be, removed from you, okay? So let's go into something real quick. Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 12. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. In the NLT it says a simpleton, okay? A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Remember, in the scriptures it tells you 1 Samuel chapter 9 and 9 that before time in Israel, when they went to go see a man of Yahweh, the name there was a seer, okay? Before it was called prophets, right? And when you go into the word there, seer, it breaks down to have vision, to consider, okay? To perceive, okay? So a prudent man would have that vision. You would perceive these things, okay? Exactly, foreseeth the evil, okay? By what? Considering. But what? The simple pass on and are punished. The simpleton, the ones who don't consider, the ones who don't take it to heart, okay? They think they know everything. There's a way that seemeth right unto man, but the ends thereof is death, okay? Proverbs 15 and 28. Let's get this real quick. The heart, meaning the mind, of the righteous studieth to answer. Remember, going back into Joshua 1 and 8, meditate upon it day and night, right? Part of that meditation is studying, going into what this really means, so you get the full context of what's going on. You could just read a scripture, cool, but these scriptures everything is to be, slow down, read it slowly. Once again, consider what you're reading. Don't just blow by it, right? So it tells you, once again, the heart of the righteous studieth. And that's what a lot of these congregation members of these other camps, right? Starting from our apostle elders to the elders, the bishops, they always tell you, study. Going to study. They do study classes, you know what I mean? And that's for the Akim, the sincere Akim, who have the vision and can actually see these things about to pop off. And hopefully thinking that, we're part of that elect. You're going to study. You're going to try to achieve that goal. You're going to be elect-minded. You're going to constantly consider these things, man. You're not going to let go. So that's what a part of studying is, okay? And in these other congregations, like I said, they don't fucking study. They all just sit in the crowd like zombies, But anyways, the heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things, right? They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what the hell they're doing, okay? Because the Lord has not given them instruction. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom. Once again, going back to Proverbs chapter 1 and 7, that's where that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding begins. When you start fearing your Lord, when you start to perceive these things, when you start to consider, I might be on the motherfucking chopping block, okay? Like the brothers always say, fear is a great motivator, okay? And we have a healthy fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. When we slip up here and there, You know, we're in panic mode. Hey, please forgive me, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Begging, you know, because we consider. But guess what? 2/3, you know, they don't have a bone of consideration in their heart, in their body. Okay? So, hey, man, constantly consider these things, man. Constantly let it be dip on your mind. You know what I mean? Every day, every minute. Even if you're not making a video, you know, it's always on our mind, man. Even on our mind, hey, let me do a video. Pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushai that he give me a video to do. You know, these things are, you know, hey, what does it tell us? Sirach chapter 12 and 13. That what our job is to do. Let's get that. I'll close out on that. Because a man of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, elect-minded individual would be doing this. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Okay? Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So we'd be considering these things. Okay, and we do consider these things. So constantly would dip on our mind the fear, you know, of Yahweh Shem Yahushai slipping up, not serving our power correctly, right? Those things we're considering these things. We're meditating upon these things. Okay? But 2/3 of our people, what? They do not lay it to heart. They don't care. Okay? So with that, Akim, all praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh. Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Barakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to all the Akim doing and pushing his word in sincerity and truth worldwide. And a sincere shalom to the elect. I hope you're edified, Lord willing, till next time. Abad Babal. Shalom, Akim.